So I've noticed that there's only a couple different ways that people talk about YouTube. So first, there's the way that business people talk about YouTube, and that tends to be characterized by buzzwords like revenue and content and vertical. These people don't care too much about the videos getting made or the community engagement, because the community engagement is just like a metric to gauge their success. They're not super interested in the platform as like a cultural phenomenon. They're there to make money. Like, their job is to put money into the system so that more videos get made and hopefully like they make some money after those videos. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing in itself. But this way of interacting with YouTube and of talking about YouTube can feel a little bit offensive to the kinds of people that I tend to identify with, which is the community. So the community talks about YouTube in terms of how well it facilitates our social network. We want to be able to make close connections with people and have personal conversations and promote small talents generally over big talent. We're deeply invested in the platform not with our money, but with our time, and we feel sort of an ownership of the space. So when something big changes, or we feel that the faceless corporate boogeymen are encroaching on our little world, then we get understandably a little bit freaked out. We have the tendency to speak nostalgically and sometimes even apocalyptically. Like, it's not too uncommon to hear someone say like, YouTube doesn't care anymore, or the community is dead, or these sorts of things. Like, I don't agree with these statements at all, but like, it's not too uncommon to hear them. There's another style of talking about YouTube that I've become pretty familiar with recently, and that's the way that like researchers and scientists talk about YouTube. I'm doing this big project for school. It's so big that I even named it. It's called Project Vitamus, and it's this website where I'm going to be compiling and curating a bunch of like academic resources and news articles and blog posts and other multimedia having to do with the formal study of web video or new media. It's super cool, and you should definitely check it out after the video. But yeah, so for the project I've been reading all this like graduate level thesis work, and you can tell that the people writing it are like really invested, and they're thinking hard about, you know, how the website works and stuff, but it's like, it's kind of like distant and sterile and very scientific and almost voyeuristic in a way. For example, I read this one study, it's like a case study of the first 46 videos on Mimi Molly's channel. The study is actually like really interesting. Like, it sets up Mimi Molly as sort of like the prototypical YouTuber, and it explores like the performative and the personal aspects of vlogging and like how it works and stuff, and it's super cool and stuff, but like, it's like this weird psychoanalysis of this girl who's vlogging, and it feels really weird to read. Because, and I might be wrong about this, but I don't think that the author ever like contacted Mimi Molly. Like, I think that he just like did this. Like, she wasn't involved in it in any way. So it's weird, right? So as many of you know, I'm in college studying web video because it's had like this huge effect on my life. And just my worst nightmare is to become distant from this thing that has been such a big part of my life for so long. So as I execute this big project where I'm going to have to like look at YouTube in a sort of distant scientific way, I want to keep actively using the site to its fullest potential. I want to keep making friends, and I want to hear a little bit less of this sort of like doomsday speak that I tend to hear, I think, a little bit too much. I think the only way we're going to unlock the potential of YouTube and sort of the internet in general is to think critically about the platforms that we're using, and most importantly, take ownership of how we're using them. So yeah, I want to start talking about this. How do we use YouTube to build our communities better? So yeah, leave a comment below. I'd love to see some video responses. You can leave a video response by just like uploading a video to your channel, copy pasting the link into the comment section. It's that easy. And yeah, make sure to check out Project Vitamus and follow it on Twitter and stuff, because like, this is a project there's a lot that's been leading up to this project, and it's gonna look at like the science of how we're using YouTube and you know, how we can use it. And I think it's gonna be, you know, useful for this conversation of like, how do we use it best? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Love you guys. I'll see you. Bye. No!